Everything's gonna work out.
Let me roll this.
Hey, David. Hey. Welcome back this week to We're On Point. I'm your host, A Trey. Hopefully, you had an exceptionally wonderful week, and it went without issue, and you're in the best of spirits on this day. Man, y'all, I have. We're going to be in our first segment here and now, and this one's kind of close to me, and all the dads out there. It's the invisible man in the room. Dads are people too. Fathers are people too, and some of the fellas here, my guest, the concept of father in today's society, in today's community, in America, the father concept, the idea of fatherhood seems to be waning and diminishing. And maybe it's just me, but it seems to be going that way. Before anybody decides to take this to the left or the right or over expound on the center, I am not mommy bashing. I'm not woman bashing. I'm not belittling women, degrading women, putting motherhood to the side. No. What I am doing is informing you of an opinion and of fact. Mind you, the opinions that are stated here today are that of the host and his guest, possibly, not that of Radio Phoenix or its affiliates in any way, form, fashion. So with that out the way, my opinion that are corroborated by facts are fathers are overlooked. And a large degree of that is because of, now set with this, anger, spite, scorn, money, and distrust. And we got to find out why these things are happening, where they came from, why it's even going there. Why is this settled this way? Why is it that the American father has been damn near cast to the side? And this expounds well beyond color. This isn't a color issue. This is a systemic issue. This is a societal issue. This is a village issue, a community issue. You know? Now, mind you, the numbers state in theory that this leads more toward an ethnic thing. And we'll address that one too. But I don't think so. Now there are some cases to be made, and you can't help but look at it and go, now that right there, that be making me think and stuff. That's my Ebonics for those of you who say, oh my goodness, it doesn't sound brown enough. Miss Haley, hopefully that settled what you wanted, Miss Haley, and you know who you are. for saying that I don't sound brown enough. Hopefully that touch of Ebonics helped you out right there. Okay. I'm not going to put your first name on blast unless you put me on blast again like you did last week. And I got to say this. I have to say this. Because it came up. Listen, if you see a gentleman who happens to be of a deeper melanin, brown, lighter brown, Asian, and he actually happens to be able to formulate a sentence in correct grammatical error and in correct grammatical fashion and doesn't have to use an excessive amount of slang to express himself, and he can deliver a thought eloquently with a degree of elegance, finesse, with fact, and is understood, that does not, I repeat, that does not make him wanting to be Caucasian. We need to get out of that. I'm off track for a moment, but I'm going to address it because I didn't like it. Ms. Haley, I did not like that. I was offended beyond the thought of reason. And I know you listen because you commented. You always comment. That you were off base. You don't know my history. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know how my education. And the guests here, when we speak, when my guests speak, it's because they have something to say. And those who can, Doctor, Mr. Hubs, Mr. Nunez, we can speak. Do you know how offensive it is for another person to hear a person say, oh my God, he speaks so well, as if we were not supposed to be able to?
One of the most condescending comments I ever got was that I was pretty smart for a Mexican. First of all, I'm not even Mexican. I'm Chicano.
I'm gonna tell you something. Don't write me like that again. Don't put my name out on blast like that again, or I'm gonna put your name on blast, and I can, because that's fair. It's freedom of speech, dear. Moving on. So today, my guest with me is our princess in waiting, Lady Tiffany Hawkins. And my boy D Nice, Danny Nunez.
How y'all doing?
And you haven't heard him yet, but from the Wisdom Hut, my boy Stephen Hubs, Dr. Hubs will be joining us as well. So what I want to do is this. Hold on.
Have you read it?
Oh,
Hey, I want to.
I tried to invite you. I'm not sure.
I want to let you guys know that today's topic is close. This is close to it again.
Oh, I know it's going to
Put
be
my name
sensitive.
out on blast. This is close to me. And I text, call the line. Tell Hubs to call the line. Call the line. Tell him to call the line. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Give me a minute. Okay. Sorry about that. It's having a little bit of an issue, and I didn't want you guys to hear that. So,
High quality problems.
what we're going to do is this. After this announcement, we're going to come back and we're going to start this issue. We're going to start this conversation because it's one that actually has to be had. See, most people don't believe, or a lot of people don't believe that in today's society that the father's word has any value.
Mm.
And that's a question that we have to ask. Where did that state of mind come from? Where does that idea come from? And we're going to try to get into the crest of it and see if we can crack that open. Now, there are some things that are community-based, state-based, that actually influence this kind of thought, this kind of behavior. And I'm going to just rest the questions out there for you. And then you tell me what you think. I'm just saying. So Right after this announcement, come back and join us. Hey, check us out. You just might learn something. Support for Radio Phoenix comes in part from Gifts Anon. Since 1977, Gifts Anon has provided books, gifts, and self-help programs and support for Valley residents recovering from addiction. 2 locations are available, one at 7th Street, just south of Bethany Home Road in Phoenix, and the other at Scottsdale Road in Shea in Scottsdale. More information is available at 602-277-5256 or search for Gifts Anon Inc. That's GIFTS ANON Inc. on Facebook. And we thank you for your generous support of community radio.
Is that his? Can you turn it on? Does it work? I like that jazz. Hey, Stevie, I need you to call the other number. You can call it now. You can call it now. All right, and I'll figure it out as we go. I did not want to leave that. I did not want to. I can't connect to. I can't connect to the. I got the
lady calling in from the line, right?
Yes.
Okay, what you do is when you pick up, press mute on there.
Right.
This button right here, this is the phone, and then you click on the gray audio.
I got that one.
Watch.
Here's my issue.
All right, press mute. Okay, say hello.
I got it.
Okay, now you gotta press
I
that.
got this one. I'm with you there.
And that, and then you,
But we can't take any more calls.
what do you mean?
That's
Oh
not-
yeah, it's only one. It's only one person.
That's
So it
why.
gotta be. It has to be short.
That's why I have the
Mm.
Hangouts open.
'Cause you have people. A lot of people calling.
We had 26 missed week before and 14 last week.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, there's not a. It's not a switcher. They were supposed to get one and they never did.
Yes. And
So then you have to make it short, like less than
these
2
are
minutes.
guests.
Oh, you have that many people calling in for guests?
Yes.
All they need just call in. People
No,
that call
those
in
are people that are
commenting.
calling in, but we have a guest online right now.
Yeah.
So he's calling in from Atlanta.
Okay.
So that's Stephen Hudson.
And if you want people to listen from like around, when you talk, you have these on, right? Then when he talks, turn these off.
Yep.
And then
it'll come through.
Okay,
I'm with
you know
I'm
that.
with
Okay,
you.
you
I'm
know
with
that.
you.
I had to tell Patrice how to do that, and she didn't know.
Yeah, I told Fab.
Okay, but I was gonna tell you, I'm gonna talk to Kenny, and then we gotta meet up again. That man, I'm telling you, this song I've been.
You like the idea? I love the idea.
Yeah. So
Let me get Fab real quick.
We can what?
Oh,
I want to invite you into your video. Did you invite me in already? You're invited me in, right?
Yeah.
So how do I invite everybody else
So
in?
basically, what that's going to do is it's going to have me and you talking to each other on here. Yeah, just tag everybody. In a second, it's going to allow you to. Yep.
But we don't want me to be loud.
Close it.
Okay, we want to share. Did you get no, I want to tag you into your, but how am I going to do that? Because this has already been played. Will it pick up on the new section of it?
How long is this one?
It just started.
And we are back. Right here. We're on point on radiophoenix.org, where the community comes to chill, to dance, to sing, to connect. How y'all doing? Hopefully everybody is okay. We're in our first segment, and it's the here and now, and it's the invisible man in the room. Daddies are people too. Special thank yous to the princess in waiting, and for helping us establish our fact finding here, and for our boy right here, Daniel will be joining us too. Dr. Hubbs will be joining us in our conversation today. How you doing, Doc? That's what's up. So, Daniel, understand. I'm a little confused. I have some information, but I'm confused. Why is it, do you think, that the image of today's father seems to be kicked to the curb? That's just me. But it seems like today the perception of today's father, the idea of today's father, the presence of today's father is worthless, is valueless, in my opinion. But do you know why do you think that is?
Well, what is the term? Emasculate?
Yeah.
Essentially, that we've sanitized the roles so much that we instead of trying to find ways to I don't know, give people credit for the progress or the efforts that they're making, what we all often do is we like to disqualify people, right? And I think it's gotten a lot easier to attack the head, right,
Mm-hmm.
than it is to just I don't know. Every family is unique. It doesn't matter if you're a photographer or a painter or whatever, you give somebody the exact same supplies, and they're gonna produce a different painting, right?
Exactly.
And so everybody has like their own like way and their own like Dr. Hubbs just said, their own perspective, whether it's like the traditions or the ritualisms that our family may have endured, but the role itself, like the parental role, we've gone like I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. You know, we're a microwave society. We don't necessarily have the same level of respect for elders,
Yes.
and so what often happens is like those rites of passage or the information and experience and wisdom is not being passed down to the next generation of would-be men. You know, there's a lot of males out there that are having children, but they're not necessarily the best fathers. And like Dr. Like A-Tray said, you know, it's both ways. It doesn't just say that having a child doesn't automatically qualify you as a good parent, right?
Right.
But it requires like trial and error. It requires like a lot of failures. You know what I mean? Because for absentee fathers, those invisible men, right? Those guys, they have a lot of arrested development because they were never challenged to actually be the fathers that they were called to be.
Well, also, I get the invisible man part,
Mhm.
but also when we talked and we came up with this subject, and Dr. Hubbs, I mean, you could weigh in on it as well. The invisible man is basically, it could be an absentee father,
Mhm.
and we know we have plenty of absentee dads out there in the world, but the invisible man in this scenario would be the father that is actually in the home, or the father who picks his kids up, who has them, you know, the weekends, or whether you're in the house or you're outside the house, you have interaction with your children.
Mhm.
But have you ever, Dr. Hubbs, have you ever taken the kids out to the ballpark? And Daniel and Trey, you all can understand this too. And when the coach give the letter that needs to be given to the parent, the first thing they say is, give this to your
Dad.
No,
Mom.
Oh, your mom.
to
She's
your
the one,
mother.
Yeah, because she's the one that does all the paperwork.
No,
That's the
Well, the assumption is that she does all the paperwork, but dad probably brought them to the park, but yet they tell the kids, give this to your mom.
Mm.
And a lot of times I think it's just how it has been structured with society, because mom has always, when it's time to do treats, I know that when the kids are playing basketball and stuff, and I've seen it happen, or they're playing sports, mom is going to bring the treats. But see, there's a lot of fathers that are the weekend dads, or they're the dad that's in the household,
Mhm.
and they are the ones preparing the treats. They are the ones who are bringing them to the games. They are the ones who are taking the lead. But it has been just so widespread with the women that people forget that fathers actually exist.
Mhm.
So, mhm.
Fathers themselves. That's factor number one.
Mhm.
And it's still, that's been a cultural norm for at least 40 years. And these are some side effects and aftermaths of that cultural norm with some of these men doing that. But we also have to look at balanced perspective and look at one of the origins, one of the causes was part of the feminist agenda wasn't just evolved. Originally, in some cases, feminism was about, okay, equality, saying I should get equal pay and, have fairness in the society towards women, and that's due. But there was a secondary agenda where there was portions of feminism that said that men are not necessary. So you have a society that has taken, that's one of the origin points. One of the reinforcement points was it became a higher frequency in terms of if you watch television. Any of us that grew up with some of these TV shows knew that there was a trend that started picking up, and I want to say it started probably about a good 20, maybe 30 years ago, where we started seeing the pattern of either the absent father, or we also saw the pattern of the father was an idiot. So therefore he's reduced to a sperm donor instead of being an actual value component. So the nuclear family started being as restructured. And then you have feminism trying to take the men out of their point of value as a response to the fact that there were men who were devaluing women. So that gave context to go to an extreme of saying that men aren't worth anything. And that's what happened. You're seeing a lot in the language right now. A man is treated as a resource versus actually given an opportunity to be a father. And both of you are absolutely correct about how this didn't just happen overnight. There's a lot of mindsets present now. But it's very important that we understand that some of this has been systemically introduced over time, where we don't look at a father. And if you notice it, even when we look at something as simple as music, you'll notice that one of the greatest trends in music that started in the 90s and in the 80s to some degree is that you hear a man talking as if his identity is rooted in his sexual prowess. And you hear a lot of young men taking that mindset up and perpetuating that mindset where none of their male identity is based in their being a part of the family and being a father and growing in their manhood. It's based in power, money, and sexual virility.
Mm-hmm.
Those are common factors. That's always presented, but you don't hear nearly as often that image of men. So we have a lot of systems in place where, because the father is not present as a reference or even in a position of being able to have stronger influence, you have generations. Now we're talking 3 generations, it's a 10-year cycle of young men who have unconsciously perpetuated a mindset that says that a man's only there to have sex or donate sperm by accident, versus really having a higher value of a father that's an investor in the lives of the children and even in the life of his wife.
Understandable. So basically, with that being said, that is a base, and that is the grounds of why we see so many things that are happening in this day and age the way it is. But now the question is, there are more fathers nowadays. There are fathers who are actually taking the responsibility of being dads. They're raising the kids. They're doing all these things. So this is a conversation where we try to figure out a way to start adding dad into the equation, because we don't need him to be invisible. We need him to be very present. Although his check is present if he's paying child support and he picks the kids up on the weekends, or he has them one week, the mother has the next week, or whatever the case may be, or he's in the household and he's working the two jobs. A lot of dads are very present in the lifestyles of their children. They're taking them to school, they're helping with the homework, they're doing a lot of things that we forgot they were going to be doing. So what we're going to do when we come back is we're going to explore that just a little bit more, move away from the negative and go with the positive.
No, I'm gonna get negative.
Community, nonprofit, and volunteer radio.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? You know what? I'm sorry. Y'all see me running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm about to tell y'all some ish.
No, he not.
I am, because I got some ish on my chest. I does, did, and done. I done that.
I picked the wrong subject today.
Here's my thing. Hold on. I got you.
No side, slip that in. Daniel, we're going to move away from the negative, see what's positive. We're going to jump right in now. Hey, what we doing? See, this is what we doing today. We're going to put y'all on blast. All y'all bad attitudes.
Queens have mastered the art of tuning out.
Not fair.
Yeah, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up. The whole ride every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen.
Here it is.
Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Is it working?
Hey, I'm Dr. Brown. I'm here on Radio Phoenix for
Oh,
Kids
sure. I think,
Show here Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. and features
yeah, I think you're
blessing soundtrack of alternative rock, electronic, dance, neo soul, and progressive hip hop music from the United States and around the world.
Is this going? Did you start this?
Yeah, yeah.
Cultural leaders.
Mine
Take the show on the road.
started pretty late.
So remember,
So-
Rock Nation, Saturdays from 6 to 9.
You know how to separate
here on
this?
Radio Phoenix.
Just save it on your file and then close it. I already saved mine already.
Okay. And we're back right here at Zero Point. I'm your host, A. Trey. Hot on the mic with me today, and I have our princess in waiting, Tiffany Hawkins, my boy D Nice, Daniel Nunez, and from the Wisdom Hut, Stephen Hubbs, Dr. Hubbs. And I'm glad everybody's here joining me today. So here's what's up, and it's in our segment Here and Now, and I gotta tell you, this is what it is. This is what it is. What's up, Lady E? Equality joining us here on Facebook. Thank you so very kindly. And it's this. The invisible man in the room. Daddies are people too. I'm gonna tell you, this is my view. I think you got some lopsided individuals who got hurt, got their booties in a bunch, and they decided that because personal things didn't work out for them, that it wouldn't work out for the children. And because they kept doing this, they decided to snowball, and it turned into a continuous, nasty, vicious, funky, stanky, slithering, silky, nasty cycle. That every female that was bitter, torn, scorned against the male that they happened to have children with, this particular group of individuals decided that the father was not important. So, and you've heard this before, you've seen it before, it's happened before, you know, and it's like, have you had that friend, you know, that friend who goes like this, girl, I seen him with Bonquisha last week and stuff. Y'all ain't together, but he still loves you. You know what? You should sue him for child support and get all his stuff. Take his money.
Wow.
You want to know how to hurt a man? Mess with his kids, mess with his ride, mess with his money.
In that order?
In that order.
Kids, ride, and money?
Kids, ride, money.
Oh, wow.
Listen, you got your girl. Unless she's in the gold club, if she's in the gold band club, she's prone to walk away from you. So he's going to protect his girl. That's just natural instinct. But your kids, they take precedent. And if he busts his booty to get his car, what gives you the right to decimate it, to destroy it? Nothing. And if you take money out of his pocket, you're taking money out the mouths of his kids. He can't get gas to get to the job. He can't pay for the rent. He can't pay the water, the electric. So mommy says, you know what? I will take all you guys' stuff. Oh my God. You know what? I'm so suing you. Really? That's what we want? That's what you feel is fair? And you know what? I'm not letting you see little Jamal either. No, you can't see Tonquine. He ain't coming over. And you better have our buddy. Listen. A man on the street commonly doesn't want you to jump in his face. Listen, if the boss got out of hand, he gonna get put in check. So you decide you want to take the position of a boss and tell him what you gonna do, what you taking from him, what you not gonna have, and what he's not gonna be able to see or have a part of. And then you expect him to be the daddy that you say he's not. Then you got these lopsided commissioners, judges, who decided that they're going to put their butt on their shoulders too and have the audacity, the auspicious nerve, the outlandish gall to tell you they don't give a damn about you and they will take everything you have and you can live on a box on the street, but you will pay that mother. Mind you, I have not once said the children. Low budget, no class, Quasimodo, hairdo wearing boogers. Not once did I say the children, because 9 times out of 10, if you stay inside that type of frame of mind, you're going to just propagate it. And all the little females coming up are going to believe that this is the perfect formula for you to have something to grow by. You don't think so? Look inside the social system right now. Look at the legal system, how it was drawn. Arizona, in my opinion, is a mommy state. How is it possible that you could ask a mommy when she walks inside the court, what do you think should happen to daddy while he's paying child support? You know what? Put him in jail. What? You're going to take him away from the very thing his children need to survive, to depend on him, to make sure that he can just make you happy? Low budget. But that's just me.
So tell us how you really feel.
This historically too. Isn't it interesting? One of the things the Black Panther Party actually did in the 60s was they made sure that they came up with a program that could help families without taking the father out of it. The government runs them off and develops their program. Isn't it interesting that in some communities that they intentionally make it a criterion, the father cannot be present for a family to qualify for government assistance? How does that affect things? Second part of it, in certain farm communities, the inverse happens. The parents can be present and they still get those government subsidies. So there's been a lot of efforts on multiple fronts to make sure that the father is not present. Now, when a young man doesn't see fatherhood, I know personally, I'm 45 years old, and I know one of the things I had to develop was a clearer sense of what fatherhood was, because I did not have that point of reference. By the time my father came back into my life, I was a grown man. My stepdad, he came into my life when I was 16 years old, getting ready to go through 2 more years and head out to college. So the side effect of this is that when you have these men that are developing that, you have today's situation where you have a legal system. It's very important that we say a legal system that biases itself towards the definition of parents by automatically biasing towards saying that the mother's doing that, because they're not taking into mind the psychology that led that man to not be present into his family's life, or bearing in mind that, yes, even in some cases that the mother may have been actually tactically becoming for the sake of getting money, guaranteed money, and through his check getting garnished, or through the government resources.
Here's something else.
You were just talking about like the legal jargon, right? I think that's one of the things that also needs to be addressed and changed because I mean, we're not really fighting or battling for custody of our children just because you know the mother gets the what is it primary custody.
Every
Not
time.
always true. Not always true.
Oh, well, no, hold it. It's
just,
primary.
just because she gets it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not qualified to have.
Okay, but that's not always true in every situation.
Hold it. But I'm gonna let you know, 9 times out of 10, if the family separates, the children go with mommy.
Mm-hmm.
That's appointed by the court. The father has to establish that he has the right to the children, that he's strong enough or financially strong enough, monetarily healthy enough to take care of the kids. Otherwise, it's mommy.
Why y'all sounding salty right now?
Oh, hold on.
Like y'all are.
Hold it. These,
Oh my God.
these things right here, listen, I'ma just tell you.
It's close to our hearts.
It's close to the heart.
And I
And
get
they say
that.
daddies, I'm like, daddies are people too.
And I get that. And I get that they're people too. You know, we also have an absentee father.
Mhm.
But like I said, we are going
Forget
into
that
it.
chump.
Wait.
Listen, that
Oh
tramp,
my
if he don't want
God.
to show up for his kids, he low budget too. Everybody listening,
But these-
if you don't show up for your kids,
That's an
and
assumption.
you got an issue with mommy, so you say, I'm not gonna see them if I can't be around and I can't give when I want to, then I ain't gonna do nothing at all. That's weak.
Okay, but we're not talking about that gentleman.
All right.
Because we've talked about him way more than enough. So we need to talk about the parents, the fathers who are present that are feeling invisible, not the ones who are continuously invisible.
Mm.
Hold on, we're gonna go to a commercial. Hold on, we're going to a
Dr.
commercial. Going to a commercial. We'll be
Look,
right back.
listen, here's the thing.
Load it up.
When we come back,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about some things. Because I don't think the things been said. They haven't been said. So they should be said. So we is gonna be saying them. There. Miss Haley, was that Ebonic enough for you? So when we come back, y'all check us out. You might learn something.
Support for Radio Phoenix comes in part from Native Health, located at 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road in Phoenix. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. More information is available at 602-279-5262 or online at nativehealthphoenix.org. Okay, Facebook. So y'all see this is gonna get rough in here for a sister. I'm trying to bring it back to the positive fathers, but they gonna stay on the
Oh
negative.
no! It's not all negative. See, you talk about the invisible man in the room. I was getting ready to talk about God.
You gonna talk about God?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we got one gonna bring God into the picture, so we good. Keep watching. It's gonna get interesting.
This is
Yes.
playing off the chords, Ibrahim.
Right.
This is me, silly.
I knew that, but I was trying not to be like all in the picture. Did you get the have you got the checklist checking it off as we go?
Yes.
All right. Do you want me to check? Bring it back. Thank you, sir.
What's the next announcement? Live read.
Well, you know, we are at
It's going to be like
Habitat for Humanity. No, that's a PSA. Habitat for Humanity 63 Habitat for
no, it's 20 after. The next live read.
Oh,
Come on now.
I just checked that. Held it like our company.
On the bottom, that's you. Health, H-E-L-T-T.
So you gonna let him do it his sultry voice.
Community, nonprofit, and volunteer radio is supported by a donation from Helps Lumber Company, Inc., with
Not
several
exactly
decades
sure,
history
but,
of community involvement in Arizona. Thank you, helpslumber.com.
So are we back?
No, it's your community radio station.
Hey, Casey, it's Nicholas. Hi, shout out to Ruby's family.
Hi, Mom. We're a resource for your community. We care about the people in it and want to bring programs that matter the most.
What
to you.
the heck just happened?
Sorry, you have your phone there?
Huh?
You got your phone there? Okay, so we're basically going through all of our commercials and the things that support the radio station, but we will be back with more commentary. We have a little while longer in this hour. We're still talking about the invisible father in the room, the invisible man. So we will be back with more. And I'm with three gentlemen that have a lot to say.
And we're back right here at We're On Point. I'm your host, Dave Trey. I'm on the mic right here at RadioPhoenix.org, where the community comes to chill, to dance, to sing, to connect. And we're in our segment here and now, and it's the title, The Invisible Man in the Room, Daddies Are People Too. And you know what? I am a little hype. I'm a little fiery. I'm a little salty.
Yes, we noticed.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. First, I have to say, I'm proud of my sons. My sons are stupendous. Asante, his children, he's doing his daddy thing. Brother works hard. And his thing was, if you're not with me, you against me. And if you against me, I don't need you. And you know what? If a guy says this, everybody wants to get all fiery and up in arms, and they say, oh, they get salty and they want to throw some cabbage on the ground because they say that's nasty disposition for a man to take. And every mom nowadays raises her daughter to think and say that very thing. Am I right? I seen it. I heard it. I seen it. Now, Dominique, my boy, he putting his work together, got his concept, his idea together, wants to know I love children. He's doing his thing as a daddy. He says, listen, if you can't be with me, at least work with me. That's new age thinking for a man. And I'll be honest. We like this. Look, if you're not I ain't with you, I don't want to deal with you, period. I'm still a little bit in that mindset. And so I'm learning from them too. Shy got all girls. I'm sorry, bro. And my son got all girls. And I'm like, hey, look, but he has somebody that's holding him down. And he's ready to do his thing. He's coaching. He's got his job going. And he's like, look, designated. And he knows what he wants. I'm proud of that. E, what's up? This brother, he got his family Trump tight, trying to get his house right. Music and sound engineer. He's doing this thing. And he's like, mommy, if you're not here for me, if you can't support me, if you can't be behind me, win, lose, or draw, then don't expect the same from me. It's bad. It's a good thing that a man can take that position. It's a bad thing when a man has to take that position. Because we're here together. We're supposed, listen, I told an individual real quick, without this particular man and that particular woman on that particular evening, those particular kids wouldn't particularly exist at this particular time. Suck my particular toe if you don't like it. And the thing is, it's very true. These children are not that parent or that parents. You ever see a kid that everybody does all these things, all these accolades, jump up, you just made it to college, yeah, great, wow, and he said, what you want to do? He said, is anything you want to say? Hey, hi, mom. Thanks, mom. Yeah, man, my mom's was the bomb. Mind you, his dad showed him how to spread his fingers when he make a shot. His dad showed him how to keep that stand. His dad helped him with the homework. His dad showed him how to change a tire. His dad told him, no, we don't hit girls. It's too easy. You don't like that concept? So what?
You don't like it? I do not care. It is too easy to hit a girl. It's as easy to hit a girl as it is to hit a helpless baby. And the question is, why would you do it? You wouldn't? Great. That's the point. So the dad tells him, no, we don't hit females. It's too easy to just walk away, partner. Yes, you should work for yourself. You should learn how to wash your clothes. You should know how to cook and make a sandwich. You should know how to clean your house. My daddy told me that the best thing, and feel free to interject, my daddy told me the best thing a man can do for himself is to be the best version of himself for a female, so a female can see that you're worth having.
Sister, if he can't clean the bottom of the toilet, he's probably not the one.
We ask the question, how does happen on the absentee father? How does absentee fathering happen? I'm going to describe one way of absentee fathering. I heard a term a couple of weeks ago that I found very intriguing. And what it is that in some family households, there's a lot of ciphering going on, where the kids are raised up seeing some things happen inside the walls. Mm-hmm. And that is, in one case, you'll see outright going to blows with children. And what that is, it becomes the norm, where he gets this children, he's shut down. It's a norm, including with the bathroom. It's a norm. So what does that teach us? When you come up in the house and you see a man consistently emasculated, when you come up in a house where you see a man constantly disrespected and not appreciated, you know, when you see a man puppeted in a house, how is that going to show you how you perceive a man? How is that going to affect the perception of a man? And that's how it ends up happening, because families end up building these norms where a father is not treated as a part of the family or as a person to be appreciated or respected. Let's go back to the Warden B. Cleaver age. You saw a sense of respect and appreciation for the father on multiple fronts. And nowadays, what did you see? Over time, a diminishment of the father's value, to the point that, you know, it seems like, okay, here's the mother, she's a smart, she's a vibrant woman, but somehow, some way, daddy is an idiot. Well, if daddy's an idiot, why did you marry him? But they make sure that they play up that daddy's an idiot on this TV show. Mm-hmm. So we see that image portrayed because that's a common perception that is built in these households. I'm not saying it's everywhere, but that's how it happens. Something doesn't just happen, it has to be built. So the question is, in many of these households, I would ask the question, how was the father emasculated? I would ask the question, how was the father slipped into playing a role versus actually being given opportunity to be a father? How was the father's value redefined aggressively? Those are the type of questions you have to ask in a situation like that.
And that's understandable it's understandable, Dr. Hubbs, that it's a cultural norm. Once again, I get that part, right? And that's how it happens. It started way back with the separation of families. And when you have a large separation of people who are separated from one another, it forces one party to have to be the reliable person in the household. And usually when fathers have been forced out or for whatever reason, sometimes by choice and other times not by choice, but by situations, then they do leave a situation. But I'm gonna let Daniel speak, because right now I'm a woman in this position and I picked a very interesting subject to talk about apparently, and y'all are kind of going for it. So Daniel, give your thoughts on it, because
well, to expound more than just like kind of blaming or throwing absentee fathers under the rug or under the bus. The what about military fathers? What about military families? You know what I mean? Unfortunately, whether one or both of the parents are part of the military, they end up their ability and access to the children is greatly diminished, you know. But the ability to be able to co-parent and be effective in a long distance relationship with your children. I think that's one dynamic that often just kind of gets overlooked. Another part that I also wanted to bring up, again, forgive me, I'm not here to try to impose my beliefs or anything like that.
It's your opinion. Do your thing.
It is my opinion, but like okay, from a faith-based standpoint, right? There's a lot of children that are either orphaned or that are out on the streets, right?
Right.
Other countries, it could probably have to do with like AIDS or warfare, war-torn countries, third world countries, what have you. So again, there's a lack of parents all over the world. There's a generation of people that didn't have like elders to impart all that wisdom or to pass the torch. And so what we have is a bunch of people that are getting their validation from like social media instead of actually looking to.
There's something else. And on what you're saying, and I apologize for interjecting, but here's the thing. From my opinion, we have somebody that has a question too. So Tiff is going to ask a question in just a moment when she gets there. There's something that I saw. We've allowed society to dictate how we will raise our children. We've allowed society to ostracize the father figure.
Mm-hmm.
We've allowed society to silence the father so every damn thing is acceptable. Everything. We've allowed society to push the father's opinion aside for his household by deeming him too stern, too strict, too rigid, too hard, too controlling, too assertive. We have a society of weak households. The state says we will help you if you don't have the father in the house. They say, you know what? You do need public assistance and you only need it for 2 months. That's great. We need her information and he will pay it back. Plus interest.
So does this, now that we're here, so at this point, with no fathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
With no men, there can't be any children being born basically here, okay? And I'm going to go in a different segment because we know we're here in this society. We know that this takes place. So at what point do we get smart about doing children, having children outside of wedlock, having children outside of our marriages? When do we get smart about these things? Because if I was a man and I knew this was going to take place, I would not be sharing my goodies with
just anybody.
Anybody.
I hear you, Kathy.
Right. I would not be. I mean, because at the end of the day, you can't, what do you say? So we have a question out of Houston, Texas.
Wow. What's up, H-Town?
Kathy says, question, were they married to their children's mothers? Did they give up their positions? So she's asking, were you all married to the mothers and did you all give up your positions? That's what she wants to know.
Hold on.
Be careful. I think she's a therapist. Careful now.
Hold on. That doesn't matter. Listen, when you get married, it's not a matter that you give up a position. And the moment you become married, it's a unified position. When you make children, that's a unified concept. When you have those babies at 3:00 in the morning and you get up, and 3:00 in the morning she gets up, that's a unified decision to raise that child. There's no position for me to give up. There's no position for her to give up. The only thing that you do is you inflect your individuality sparingly, whereas that child is concerned. Because it's a joint issue. You don't think so? You think I'm wrong? Listen, if your child said, Mommy, can I have ice cream? And you said no, and then you went to Daddy and asked Daddy, can I have some ice cream? Daddy said yes. Mommy is thoroughly ticked off at this point. Why? Why is Mommy ticked off? Because the baby divided your decision, divided your unity, and got what they wanted. It's a unified connection. It's a unified institution. It's a unified decision to raise that child. So when they go their separate ways, the only thing that separated was the connection to join the booty. After that, the children are still a unified decision to be made. When our baby goes to school, what school is he going to? He's going over to Johnwood. Johnwood is about 10 miles out of my way. Can we make it a little closer? Yes, babe. Cool. Wonderful. Because we're still people. And us as people have to make sure that our decisions are sound enough for that little person.
But the problem is that a lot of times there are people who are not adult enough, and I will say adult enough, to make those decisions. Matter of fact, there are people who are not adult enough to know that communication is the key to all things. Just because I don't like you, don't mean my kids have to suffer. Just because we can't get along, don't mean my kids are supposed to suffer. So we're going to take it and we're going to go to a commercial. And when we come back, we will continue. Thank you, Miss Kathy out of Texas. And we'll be back with We're On Point.
Community rate.
Promotional consideration for this program is provided by
Thank you. Perfect.
Musical Instrument.
Hey, what's up?
The world's
How you doing?
musical
I seem salty.
and the members
Yes.
You're right. You're right. I'm salty. It happened to me. Damn it. I'm gonna tell you, yes, it happened to me. And I was stupid, and then I gained a degree of intelligence about it. Was drugged through the entire court system for my kids. Tell me, I went inside the courtroom. This is a true story. I went in the courtroom, and I was dressed. And I looked at all the other daddies in the courtroom, and there was about 40 of these mugs. They came in with shorts and flip-flops, tank tops and torn shorts and ish. And I was like, what the funkadoodle? We're in court. Dressed the part. Look suave. Straight chic. You know, I walked up to the front. She called my name and she said, oh, hell. Is this him? Well, if you can afford to dress like that, you can afford to pay. Case closed. I said, ain't this some ish? Pissed. Livid. Said not a word. But I got her ass removed from the bench because daddies have to start taking on the position that they have more power than they know about. There's a host of fathers, good dads, that have been displaced, taken out of the home, removed from the home, to struggle to pay something. I'm more than my purse. I am more than my purse.
West Coast Live.
You know, all that's to daddy isn't just what's in my damn wallet. You know, when my kids come up and they ask me, Daddy, can you help me change this tire? And I go, I don't know. I don't have quite enough money. Do you think you want to hear that? Hell no. Daddies have been displaced for the simple fact they've been emasculated. They've been torn down. They've been removed from their sheath of manhood and made to seem like Commonwealth scrubs. Their value has been de-escalated to be damn near nothing more than just a figure with some genitals and a purse. Bump that. That's just how I feel.
How are you doing? Hope y'all having a
I don't have the rights to this music, but we're using it as a backdrop for our entertainment. Hopefully you enjoy this Nancy Stone.
How are y'all doing? Wow, we got a lot of participants today. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go through here and say hello to everybody. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend.
I'm not stupid.
Why did the two of you get together in the first place? Motives is not to be unsealed. It's not to be unified. The message says it's okay. How did that happen? Tell the whole story. How did that happen? The nation says it's okay and has been accepted. Oh, yeah. It's interesting. But, yeah. So, Trey, there's more. Come back around. See, there's more questions. Queen Mother said, because that's Queen Mother. Hey, Queen Mother, she said, why did you two get together in the first place? Motive is not to be unified. The message says it's okay.
You get together. It's a preconception that when you take this person, if I took this person, if I took you, it's not because it is unity. I want to be with you. I want to be with her to unify, to make sure that there's something better for me, that I can be the best thing I can be for her, or be the best thing I can be for you. And I'm under the conception, or I'm under the prospective thought that you are the best thing for me. The thought that you will not like me later because I cook too much, I have too much advice, because I talk too much, because my sexual appetite is a teeny bit more than you anticipated before we got married. Those are the things. That's what happens. People separate for different reasons other than the ones that happen when they come together. It starts off in like, and then it begins and settles in love, and then it goes waves from there.
Hey, Brandon. So Kathy said, what happened? Tell the whole story. You know what? I don't think we have a whole show for that. But what we do have time for is when you get here in October, Miss Diva, you will see it. Hey, Alvin House, how are you? She said, so you the victim?
Okay. Okay, D. You got this one. Go ahead. Get that all you have from me.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Oh, yeah.
We coming up in our second segment, Behind Closed Doors, and we want y'all to be there with us. PTSM, the decimation of an intimate moment. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Right here on We're on Point.
Okay.
Hey, check us out, y'all.
So the next
This is gonna be ugly.
The next segment,
it's adult.
It's very adult, and it's called PTSM, post-traumatic sexual malfunction. Hey, Brandon, I see you there. Hey, son. So that's what we're going to be talking about, and if it's too adult for you all, you might want to get off. Kathy still said, tell her what happened.
Shoot, here we back at We're on Point on RadioPhoenix.org. I'm your host, A-Train. And out on the mic with me, I got my boy, Stephen Hubbs of the Wisdom Hut, Dr. Hubbs, my boy, D Nice, and Princess in Waiting, Lady Tiffany Hawkins. Hey, we're in our second segment, Behind Closed Doors. Y'all know what it is. And
I'll bring this in.
Could you do that for me?
All right, so we're in our second segment, Behind Closed Doors. We are discussing PTSM, post-traumatic sexual malfunctions. So
sounds like a personal problem.
Let's get an understanding before we start this. Let's get an understanding. This is not about violent crimes, sexual violent crimes. This is none of those things. This is about that one time that something went so wrong in that intimate moment that you just can't. It just messed you up. Period in the head, and it traumatized you. No matter what has happened. You can see that person to this day, you still be like, oh my God.
Flashbacks.
So that's where we are with this. So
you need an example? So you're kissing this female, and then all of a sudden, she clicks her gum in your mouth and pops it. You know what? I can't kiss another female with gum in her mouth. That's just yucky. I'm just saying that's an example. But there are some yucky ones out there. So we're about to listen. Go get your scuba gear because we're about to get deep.
Might want to put your boots on too.
So imagine this. I'm going to set the scene for you. You ready, Doc? I'm going to set the scene for you.
Don't get nervous, Doc.
So we sitting on the couch. We sitting on the couch. We're just sipping a nice glass of pink Moscato. We had some fresh strawberries that were just dipped. Had some honey and a little bit of chocolate tipped to the side, and they've been dressed and basted in the Moscato overnight. I feed her one, she feeds me one. I rub her hand, she rubs my hand. I pull her close. She's just loving the moment. I'm loving the moment. And in the background, we have a little bit of Guy playing. We take it back because it's on the shuffle, so we have a little bit of Maze playing in the background. And you hear this, and it's smooth. You reach over, and you go to kiss her, and she coughs up a loogie in your mouth. Moscato is gone. Do not like strawberries anymore. That's nasty.
You gonna kiss her again?
No, hell no. No.
Okay,
it's done.
You only hear one story because
done.
Your stuff be too extreme.
That's done.
It's done.
But look, think about it. Would that set it off if all these things were set and she coughed in your mouth and just bing, in the back of your uvula?
But we're talking about things that
that's traumatic.
Okay, it's traumatic, but we're talking about things that have actually happened.
That did happen.
That happened to you?
I was trying to be discreet. Damn it.
I'm just messing with you. So Danielle, Daniel.
Okay.
Because last week you got in trouble.
Oh yeah. By the way,
bring that up. You got in trouble last week.
No, don't bring it up.
Daniel got in trouble.
Well, no, because I got to really.
She had to go put it on blast.
Well, no, I had to make a.
It's all right. I got something for you.
I got rebuked. Okay. Somebody reached out to me and let me know that the comments that I made about the stinky foot woman were totally inappropriate. Apparently, it's a family member to one of my social media followers.
Right.
I mean, it just goes to exactly. That's exactly. My goodness, bro.
They can't talk about telling them to go pressure wash her foot. Come on.
Oh, that's exactly my point. You know what I mean? Like again, it's the desire is for us to change, but it's a little bit of hypocrisy there.
Diligent to address this matter, this emergency, unfortunate situation, is we're gonna take up a collection. We are gonna get some commercial grade bleach and a 150 psi pressure washer.
No. See,
get the foot out the foot.
That is too
pressure.
extra. That is
No,
too extra.
no,
That
we
is
are not
way too
doing
extra.
that.
No, see, look.
No.
See,
And he's out of here. Look,
Dr. Hub just said pressure wash.
listen, okay, but
that's a little bit too much because the fact of the matter is, like, I would probably be either gagging or in tears from the proximity of her feet. But the reality is, I got to be compassionate enough to wash my brother / sister's
Oh
feet.
hell!
You know what I mean?
No.
okay, hold it.
No.
Traumatic, a traumatic moment. Go ahead.
Well, okay. I had it on the tip of my tongue.
And he lost it because it was so traumatic.
Yeah, because I was thinking
So
about this.
intimate moment, and you hear barking. You don't have a dog.
Oh.
Your neighbor is too far away. They don't have a dog. Where they coming from?
I don't get it.
No. So you kind of just blow it off a little bit, and then next thing you know, it's like, what the hell was that? Yeah, no. Tad bit of Tourette's.
What?
Just a tad bit of Tourette's, I believe. But yeah,
the person was barking.
Barking like a dog. Barking.
They were
barking like a dog.
There's a joke there. I'm going back away.
Give me the joke, Dr. Hubs. Give us a joke. Give it to us.
You can't have dog without doggy style.
Wow.
Please send Dr. Hubs away. Some people's children.
All right. Here it is. Since we being adult. So you decide that you want to embark on an experiment with this person, your significant other, this person you care about, you adore, this person that you envelop in the warmest of ways.
Right.
And you say, I'm going to partake in everything in the regions no other has ever seen. But I'm going to do it lovingly, lavishly, with the lapping of my palate. And all of a sudden, as you go to address this moment,
oh yeah,
blast! It's over. It's over.
Am I really in this one?
It's over.
Hey, you were the one that opened up
this
discussion.
happened.
You asked the question.
I read this story. It happened. And gentleman's name is Michael Sigler out of Ohio. No, they put it in a story. It was out there. Oh, okay. When Mr. Stigler,
yes.
Mr. Stigler was about to experiment in a very intimate moment with his significant other, and when he went to address it, it appeared that brown eye decided to wink.
Oh my!
In the most unsavory of fashions.
All I can say
was that tasteful?
Yeah, it was tasteful. Yeah, she was a brown-eyed girl.
You stupid!
Wow.
So basically, I'm sure most people have had some moments that have been terrifying. Just, you know what? The bottom line is this: that malfunction happens. The question is, do you get past the malfunction? Because I believe that you still see the flashback whenever something happens that is mirrored. How do you handle that?
Okay, well, I'm curious. Well, we'll ask the question after this commercial break.
Help. That's you. That's yours, Steve.
Community radio is supported by a donation by Help Lumber Company, Incorporated, with several decades history of community involvement in Arizona. Thank you. For more information, go to heldtlumber.com, and thank you for your support of community radio.
So we are taking questions, believe it or not. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Janelle. Hey, honey.
Yeah, we are taking questions.
Miss Deborah. Kathy.
Hey, this was you. You supposed to be watching that. Come on. You fine over. You're laughing. So here's the thing. You ever been in an intimate moment, an intimate setting, and all of a sudden something unthinkable happens? Unthinkable. Imagine you're trying to get your grown folk on, and you want to do something that you never did before. And then all of a sudden, you decide you want to take a bath with your significant other. You want to do something hyper romantic. So the water's there. You got the soap. You're washing all down the back. You're making them feel good. You feel comfortable in it because it's a very sensuous moment. And then all of a sudden, because the soap has gone down on the floor in the bathtub, you slip and you fall to your knee. Now remember, you're washing it back, and all of a sudden, flat, your face plants right smack dab in the middle of their. Well, I'm just saying. That would be a traumatic experience. That's what we're talking about. If you got something that you know is traumatic, feel free to let us know, okay? 602-354-8823 or write us, text us. You can do that. I want to hear from you because I know I'm not the only one who's had a traumatic experience. I'm going to give you a number and then I'm going to say a word. 69. Choke.
69. Choke. And I'm in the studio with these guys.
Hospital asphyxiation.
So I'm going to start picking subjects that I can actually not feel some kind of way about. I thought this was going to go kind of great, but it looks like these guys are taking it to another level.
And we are back on radio. We're on point. RadioPhoenix.org. Our community comes to dance, to sing, to connect. So we're in our second segment, the halfway mark, and it's behind closed doors. Hold on just a sec. It don't work.
That would be a reason to be traumatized.
Is that Dr. Hubbs?
I'm not sure.
No, that's out of Houston.
Listen, she's about to read that for you. Listen, if you have it to tell, we have it to say for you. Oh, somebody said something. You want to get that? Here's the thing. So this is a real story, and it's the post-traumatic sexual malfunctions.
Who's beatboxing?
It's that. It's those moments where you're in an intimate. It's those times when you have an intimate moment, some point in your life, that affects how you'll respond later on in life as an adult. You probably will not indulge or endeavor into that particular thing, act, or setting again because it was so traumatic. It traumatized you.
Okay, I'm gonna hijack this again.
Go ahead.
Wait, did you get the question?
No, there was no question. They were just waving, clapping. They're probably laughing their tails off. But okay. What about like the trauma of teaching your girlfriend like how to become more outgoing, more intimate, but then all of a sudden she withdraws that from you, or like you teach her your secret move, and then she uses it against you, right? You've helped this person build up their self-confidence, and all of a sudden they turn into a jerk towards you. You see what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. That's not traumatizing, is it?
Well, yes, it is, because there's I know some dads. They've reached out to me and they told me that they have difficulty in intimacy because of the fact that they're afraid to
re-experience the same thing they've already gone through.
Right. Well, they're afraid to teach that girl how to, like, you know what I mean?
Reintroduce to another person.
What someone introduced to them?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that was introduced to you.
Okay, so we have a question. The question is out of Houston. She says she's traumatized because it didn't work. Didn't get up.
Wow.
It was not working.
Okay, but listen, hold on. That she got over.
No, I'm sure she didn't.
No, I'm sure she did.
Listen, did you get over that?
Listen. She got over it. She got kids.
It don't mean that it probably
Does
happened.
she have
It doesn't
children?
matter. It may have happened after she had kids.
Okay. That individual, not every individual is going to be like, I get you though. So I'm going to tell you something that happens that women cannot cope with.
What's that?
And there's an intimate moment that they indulge upon.
Hey, Queen.
That is actually rather relaxing to a male. But if the male showed that he was relaxed, the woman would take it that this was not, that she wasn't doing something right, or that this was displeasing to him.
Okay, so
this happens. That happens a lot.
Okay, but is that a malfunction?
That's a malfunction because now she goes like this. She'll look at him every time and she goes, I can't perform this particular intimate act with you.
But that's where you have to come in and you have to communicate those things.
Communicated too. And that's what those women's problem are. They don't make the connection because they not understanding what's being told to them.
Don't. That's okay. See now, hey Eric. Okay. Look, don't blame it on the female because yo get up got gone. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that because. Look. She said what she said was, I had an ocean going. What's your problem?
So that could have been a host of things. It could have been the day. He could have been tired. He actually could have strained. It could have
been. It could be a many of things. But that's where the communication comes in. So don't try to get involved in some stuff.
Do you know how weak it is? Do you know how weak?
Don't try to dive in the water when you know you can't swim at that moment.
Wait a minute. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the case.
But if you are having a problem, or if you're
so why is she traumatized? Why can't he be traumatized?
Because it is just too much for the mind for us to take. Like, oh Lord.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
You know what?
No merit. Holds no merit whatsoever. All right, here's a story. Here's a story out of Los Angeles. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is an adult. This is an adult part of our segment. So I will relay this tastefully. It ended. This was traumatic. Not a UFC fighter. A prospective UFC fighter was with his lady fair. They were entangled in a very intimate moment, and it became exceptionally excitable. The moment became very excitable. She became so engrossed in the moment that she threw him down on his back, and she jumped on him. Now, and broke his goodies. Snapped it in two.
Oh my.
Now here's the thing. Now I'm talking about rode hard and put away wet. Literally. Here's the thing. There's no bone there. There is no bone there. That's all rhetorical. It's, in definition. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna we're going to address this young lady who said excuses. I have a moment for you, young lady. I have a moment for you, young lady. I have a moment for you, young lady. Anyway, what happens is you have a host of corpuscles and vessels that are inside. They make this up. These capillaries and packs, they're like little pockets. They fill with blood. Though they surround cartilage and the urethra, there's no bone in there, so it's nothing to break. But you ever have bubble wrap? And then you twist that mud?
I'm sure she'd get pretty damaged.
That's what happened.
I'm not really liking these analogies.
When she jumped on, the bubble wrap.
She hopped.
When she jumped on,
hopped.
When she jumped on, matters a damn. She trampoline, bounce, hop, doesn't matter. She jumped on the guy.
And he
third rope, WWE.
Third rope,
yeah.
WWE.
The bubble wrap pop.
She brung the chair down.
Some people's children. I'm trying to explain the science of it, and y'all acting foolish.
I mean, but look how many people that it has happened to in just regular, normal. I mean, they weren't wrestlers or anything. I mean, this is something that's
they weren't wrestlers. They were being intimate, and she got
right. But what I'm saying,
said he was an MMA or potential MMA.
He was an MMA fighter.
He was a MMA fighter.
Wow.
He wasn't built for it. Yeah, nah, he should have been high. He was like, ooh.
She did it, Chun-Li.
Wow.
She did.
Yep.
Wait, run that back.
No, baby, I didn't know. But I not didn't know. Baby, you solid muscle. You a fighter just like I am, and you with full contact. That is not the full contact I want.
Here's the thing. Fellas, I know you've had a female at least once in your life decide that she wants to be She-Ra and exert a little extra and decide that she wants to exert a little more power in that moment. And it's like, okay, so I can't be caught in that moment. I'm like, okay, so you started it, I'm gonna finish it. But my thing was he succumbed to it. And in doing, no pun intended, and in doing, broke his wait. Hold on. You said you were ready. Hold on. What's her name?
Kathy. Out of Texas.
Listen,
out of Houston.
Kathy in Texas. Let me tell you something.
These ladies in Texas, I'm telling you, man, they're another breed. There's another breed.
I'm going to tell you something, young lady. I am ready. READ. My thing is this. Things happen.
Hey, that.
If you haven't had anything traumatic happen to you during an intimate moment.
She said she did.
Well, then,
she said it wouldn't get up.
That's not traumatic for you. Did you move on?
Well, she
Look, I bet she moved in. Look, she moved on. I bet you ain't got shot.
That's that moment. No, but see, for women, that's that moment when men are like, oh, girl, you just wait. And, we're waiting. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. And then it happens. And then it's like, and no. And then he says, no. And then he says, you know what? I just need 10 more minutes. TikTok. Okay, now I'm done. Because this is probably one of those moments when it was not an intimate moment with someone that you've been with for a long time. Those are those first experience moments that, you're trying to play that little thing where you get it in that one time.
Trial and error.
Right. That
trial and error.
That trial and error thing, the brother done talked himself up like for weeks and months and stuff, and you be like, all right, I'm just gonna give in to you. And then it don't happen. And then you just like, All right. Well, what I'm gonna need you to do is I need you to go ahead and yeah, I'll call you. Don't call me. I'll call you.
That's not traumatic.
That is traumatic.
This is traumatic. This is traumatic. This is traumatic.
No, that's traumatic.
This is traumatic. Merced, California.
Oh Lord.
Couple, wedding night. And he'll never do it again. Couple, wedding night. I'll give you the number and I'll give you the word. I'm gonna give you 2 words. One word is choke. The other word is multiple. The other word is lacerations. And the other word is, and the other is a number, 69. So, emergency room.
Okay, so
emergency room.
So for those of you on Facebook who have not figured out that are new to this, we're talking about PTSM, post-traumatic sexual malfunctions.
Listen, if you engage in fellatio, if you engage in fellatio, and Murphy's Law affected you in the bedroom, and for those of you who are absent to what Murphy's Law is, it's a cliche that says, or a saying that is, anything that's possible to go wrong can and will go wrong.
But did we not say this is a malfunction conversation?
Well, okay. How about this?
You want to talk about Murphy's Law? Is you couldn't get past that. I couldn't get past that if you butt dang a bit of my head off.
One of my best friends.
Sorry.
One of my
no pun intended.
That actually was intended.
I was thinking about.
No, because look, like one of my friends. I think it was his senior year. His dad had just finished restoring a '69 Ford Mustang, right? And prom night. He's driving. He's getting.
Right.
They're on their way home and everything like that, and he gets T-boned. Not only does he ruin the car, but he ruins.
So when the sponge got stuck, that's. Who is that?
Kathy.
Okay, so Miss.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on, Dr. Hubs. Dr. Hubs,
Kathy.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes to commercial. Let's work it out.
Kathy, that you're right, dear. That love is traumatic. When you are stuck in a moment, and when you are in a moment and you can't stop, you feel that thunderous moment pounding down on your heart, and you are enveloped beyond the thought of reason. You are engrossed. You say, my God, I can't stop feeling this way, and something just absorbs. And you get spun stuck.
Damn. You guys, we have 2 minutes.
Hold it.
2 minutes in.
So hold it. She said, that's traumatizing. If that's almost as traumatizing as a prophylactic becoming lodged into the cavern of sensuality.
But that means
and it doesn't come out. It has to be removed from the hospital. Extricated. Hold it. We're being scientifically tactful now. So if you guys can't read between the lines, because I heard that, I saw that, I can't read between the lines. If you have a condom and it gets stuck and it gets, I understood, and you have a condom and it gets caught or stuck inside the cavity.
So Kathy said
and it has to be removed by the hospital. That's traumatic.
So Kathy said you have to go to the ER to have removed, and what that could be, because there used to be this contraceptive, and I want to say this in like about 1 minute, a contraceptive that was called a sponge. Usually you could just go in, it had a little loop thing on it, like a little thing you pull down and it's over. But if you cannot pull it down because your muscles have contracted, it's stuck. That is an ER trip. That is traumatizing. You are not going to buy that product ever again. That's like embarrassing.
That's traumatic.
That's traumatic.
Now she said, now going back to the same young lady or another one, she said it wouldn't work.
Okay, but
I was traumatized.
I was
Because my whole day was gone.
You know what?
I was gonna eat some
We
scrimp
are
one here.
headed to a commercial,
I was
and
gonna eat some scrimp here.
we'll be back. We're on point. You was
One way you can support Radio Phoenix is by becoming one of our members. For as little as $35 per year, members receive discounts, savings, and other benefits provided by our membership program partners. And don't forget, the membership fee is tax deductible. For more information or to sign up, call 480-829-5746 or go online to radiophoenix.org. Click on the support tab at the top and then become a member on the drop-down menu. And we thank you for your incredibly generous support of community radio.
Hey, Maya. So
I got one for y'all. It's ugly. This woman decided to marry this guy. She loved him very much. He was 32 years her senior. And he was a professor. He was in his...
Can't even tell the story.
He was a professor. He was in his late 70s, but he was athletically inclined. He had a heart condition. And the doctor prescribed for his heart Viagra. Viagra's makeup was for heart patients. They just found that the heart patients found that there was an overwhelming side effect. And that was the fact that they'd stay this way for a couple hours. Heart would be okay, but they stayed this way for a couple hours. Well, he was with this young lady, his new wife. And he took his heart medicine and he stayed up. And it's supposed to calm the heart. And what happened was because of his climax, it made the heart overwork. And he had a massive coronary, and it caused him to engorge. So he was stuck inside his wife. They had to take him to the hospital and had him removed. She said she'll never mess with another dude who's over 10 years older than her. That's traumatic. Wait, push high. Roll it down one time, see if anybody else. Is it a These are the things that you think about and you go, damn, you can't make that up. You can't make it up. It stopped.
I know, I cut those. I kind of cut them into different segments. It's easier to edit that way.
You're supposed to be keeping time, man.
And we're back right here. We're on point. I'm your host, A-Trey. And we're right here at radiophoenix.org. And I got my folks with me. Doc Hobbs. Okay. I'm gonna let you get this out your system. So we're rounding up our second segment behind closed doors, and it's PTSM, post-traumatic sexual malfunctions, and it's those things that actually cause you to have traumatic. It affected you traumatically, to whereas later on in your adult life, this is something you probably will not experiment with, see, or do again because of something that's happened before. Okay, go ahead, Doc. Tell.
When it comes to women folk, no shoes, particularly pointy shoes, during intimate moments. When I was a teenager, and I'm trying to heal my soul here. And we were being intimate some way, in spite of the fact that she was up close and snug with me while we were kissing aggressively, as teens do, and trying to be intimate. Immediately, the intimate moment was interrupted by this painful sensation in my male regions, the taint region of the male anatomy. My response to this particular pain was a look of shock and me repeatedly asking, how? And she was like, oh, sorry, I just don't. My mom had to be called and I had to go home. That is how to with these pointed shoes. She calls me later on. She's like, well, I thought that you said that you kicked me in my teeth. Hey, when you was right here, I was right here. What are you, double jointed? Your foot came into my tank. No pointed heels. I don't care if they're high heels, I don't care if they're flat. If they're pointed, if we are in an intimate context, I'm throwing them shoes across the room at least 20 feet.
Okay.
How do you know that wasn't her mother? How do you know that wasn't her mother?
Wait.
Wow.
Okay, so Dr. Hubbs. Okay, so as women, as a woman, I have.
Hold on.
As a woman, I can tell you that I've heard stories. So we're gonna go back to Trey. No, we're gonna go back to a traumatizing moment for a woman, and we're gonna talk about that area where most people don't like to really venture into. And so the area. No, I'm not devaluing it, but we only got a few minutes. I'm sorry. I'll pray for you. But so the woman is involved and it's great. She gets there, she's ready, and it's a normal routine for them. And all of a sudden he's venturing into that one space where you really shouldn't, the promised land. And all of a sudden he gets very aggressive and she hollers. He has officially bit
the promised land.
He went Dracula on the promised land. The true story. Okay, not going to give no names, but true story. Discovered that the promised land has been damaged. Ruptured. Yes. Now it's 12 o'clock at night, and thank God for those midnight open Walmart stores in the neighborhood. Now she needs to go get something to, what do you put on, Neosporin and one of those little round Band-Aids? No, but yet and still, everyone is finding it funny because she got to tell somebody the story, so she got to talk, and every girlfriend is cracking up laughing. He calls. She don't answer. He continues to call. She just doesn't answer. A few weeks later, she finally answers, and he's like, what happened?
underground. I like to bite in the background in this intimate moment.
We can't stand you next.
I wasn't there, so I can't tell you.
Listen. Okay, this is traumatic. This is traumatic. That's traumatic.
That is traumatic because she couldn't do that. Well, yeah, because she said it took a long time for her to ever to be able to trust someone to do that again, and that was not a trusting moment at that point.
I agree.
And she wasn't seeing that brother again. That brother was out the door.
I'm gonna tell you too. Okay, for those who didn't know, heart medicine, Viagra started out as a heart medicine. It was for the heart. It wasn't for what it's used for today. In its early stages, a gentleman, businessman, married a female who was 30 years his junior. He was in his late 70s, and he had taken the medication, and the notable side effect after he'd taken the medication was it kept his attention for at least an hour or two, an extended amount of time. In so doing, he just got married with this woman. And he took his heart medication and became so excitable because he became engorged.
He's gonna say he had a heart attack.
And he had a heart attack. The moment caused his heart to race more while he was during the activity. He became more engorged. He had a massive coronary, and he died.
He died with a bobblehead.
Yes, he did. And they had to remove her at the hospital.
From her.
Okay,
because the body got captured inside that state. It's like if you're holding on to a rope when you pass.
I got that.
Or holding on to a pistol when you.
Yeah.
So for those of you who just came in, we were talking about post-traumatic sexual malfunctions. That's what our behind closed doors was. We had some great stories. But I believe it's the end of our show, and we're going to be leading out. I'm Tiffany, and
hey, here it is.
Nice.
Here it is. That's the doctor over there. Here it is.
And Dr. Close.
Listen, I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna tell you one more story. When we came on, we were talking about our fathers. You know, we have to pay attention to our fathers. We have to make sure that they are recognized. This isn't a matter for their egos. This is a matter for our children's well-being. This is a matter for the context of family values. Family has to be built back over. And if it's built back over, it's because of the things that we actually will do to make sure that it stands again, still, that it's reaffirmed, that it's confirmed, that it has a sound foundation. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're going to experiment in the moment of intimacy, make sure that both you guys are on the same page. And if you're so close that you can touch it, you're close enough to talk about it. That's my opinion. Listen, raise your glasses. Raise your glasses, bottoms to the top. Remember, every thought is grand, every idea is warranted, and for every step you take, and for every endeavor you make, may they always be
on point.
Till next week, we'll talk to you later.
Wash your feet. Wash your feet.
Did you say wash your feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Wash your feet.
Are you going to the
arcade? Probably a little bit later, but we just got into town. I need to. I'm probably gonna go home and take a shower. Thank y'all for joining us. Really appreciate you. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. If nothing else, if you want to become a corporate sponsor, go reach out to radiophoenix.org. Go to the contribution tab. It's pretty simple. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and feel free to reach out to me. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. As I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. If you're interested in becoming a corporate sponsor, by all means, feel free to reach out to radiophoenix.org. or go ahead and hit me up in the direct message. I would love to help you figure out how to go ahead and complete the process. Take care. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Next, where the Valley comes to talk, Same Connect. I'm Connor Brown. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna kick this off with DJ Valley.
Another one.
I told you to be that. But y'all have more issues than women.
No. Yeah. No. We have more issues. It's just that.
Is there any way you can help me out?
Which way you going?
To 28th Street.
And
Thomas?
hey, Trey, can you come out here, Trey Thomas?
I'm not driving.
She's there already, but yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, he can take you.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay.
I gotta run and get more girls to Apple Store.
Okay.
Okay. But I gotta go to 19th Avenue first, Daniel, and then head back out to Scottsdale.
No worries.
Okay. Gentlemen, it has been fun.